I can see the comments now. No, it's not, actually. You have Stockholm Syndrome. This game is AI slop before AI was even a thing. I've never played it, but YouTubers have been calling it bad for 2.5 years, so that's good enough for me. Zach, my guy, you're out here defending Starfield like it personally saved your life from a black hole of boredom, calling it the best game ever made while the internet is screaming Garfield in unison. That's not just contrarian energy, that's foundational contrarian energy. You're the human equivalent of someone standing in a burning room going, actually, the flames are kind of cozy once you get used to them. And the wildest part, I believe you. You've got me half convinced the endless loading screens are just Bethesda's way of giving us mandatory mindfulness breaks. Peak delusion. I'm proud of you for dying on that hill, even if the hill is made of procedurally generated disappointment. Alright, so I'm gonna get a lot of hate right out the gate just for that title alone. I expect that. I accept that. People hate this game, and I love it. It's my favorite game of all time, and in a 6-month period in 2025, I put 1,600 hours into it. I was hooked on it like heroin. So, why? Doesn't this game suck? Isn't it awful? Didn't everyone who ever tried this game for 3 hours put it down forever because it leaves a bad impression? It's complicated. Starfield is what I would call the first ever anti-game. What does that mean? Well, with most open world games, let's use Skyrim as an example, the game opens like a giant theme park you're exploring for the very first time. Everything is shiny and new and adventurous, but over time, things get more familiar and less exciting, and eventually you get bored with the game, dropping it altogether. Starfield is the opposite. Starfield starts out boring and drab and not fun, and it's like this for a long time. Anywhere from 20 to 40 hours of your first playthrough will be a slog to get through. And the only reason I stuck with it is because I spent $70 on this fucking game. With Starfield, the game slowly becomes more interesting, more shiny, more new, as you peel back layer upon layer of depth to the game's alternative storytelling and multiverse potential. It's an anti-open world game. It starts bad and turns into something incredible over time. And the best part is, it doesn't have an ending. Well, of course, you might be saying, open world games don't have endings by design, it ends when you get bored with them. But here's the thing, I didn't get bored of Starfield. I put 1,600 hours into it and had to force myself to stop playing it because it's a drug. It's that addicting. Anyone who's put over 100 hours in this game knows what I'm talking about, and anyone who's put under 50 hours is confused as hell as to why I even like this game in the first place. So let's start at the beginning. Why do people not like this game? It can't be as simple as just put 100 hours into it and you'll like it, because there are people who have and still don't like it. And 100 hours? That's asking a ton from a gamer in today's fast-paced society. To put even 50 hours into a game before you like it. To slog through what could be 50 hours on a game that is good immediately. But here's the thing, Starfield is a bit like life. The first 5 years of life are confusing, not memorable, clunky, awkward, and unintuitive. It isn't around year 4 or 5 that you wake up for the first time in your life and become conscious. Starfield has a similar moment around 40 to 50 hours in. This is a game that you will be spending so much time in. The first 50 hours being bad is a drop in the water compared to the 1,000-hour journeys you will go on in the multiverse. But I understand that that's asking a lot from people. And if you decide that because the first 50 hours of a game isn't good, and it doesn't matter how good the rest of the game is, then the whole thing isn't worth playing because it leaves a bad first impression, then who am I to stop you? How good can Starfield possibly be after its first 50 hours to justify such a steep playtime curve before it even gets fun? It's pretty goddamn good. But if I really want to answer that question, I'm gonna have to spoil the game, which I'm not gonna do. I know at this point I've just confused you and haven't really told you why Starfield is great, just give an abstract setup that will pay off later. But before we really dive into what makes Starfield great, I'm gonna go over why it's hated and how that hate is justified. The negatives of Starfield. Number 1. Exploration. This is the big one. Let's take Fallout 4 for example. The best part of Fallout 4 is not doing the quest way over on this side of the map, it's walking from this side of the map to do the quest. The unofficial story that happens in between the pre-made stories is the best part of every Bethesda game, and this main hub world just does not exist for Starfield. It's a schizophrenic, divided, loading screen plagued experience that doesn't have in-between storytelling. Yet, Free Lanes was just announced, and it's coming April 7th, and it is the hub world exploration we're all wanting. You're able to manually fly between planets instead of having to open the map and click on them every time. This makes it so that there's actually stuff to do in between your quest targets, which is a good segue into the second negative of Starfield. Number 2. The quests. The quest design in Starfield is an answer to the meme of every single one of Skyrim's quests being, hey, I need an item from this dungeon, go to the dungeon, defeat Draugr, and get the item for me. Which is true, there's not much quest variety in Skyrim, and there is in Starfield. You're doing a lot more than just defeating enemies and collecting items. You're engaging in corporate espionage, solving solutions diplomatically, designing commercial starships, putting on a monster costume and scaring tourists away. But as it turns out, going into dungeons and defeating Draugr is a lot of fun. We asked for this. We asked for a variety of quests, but when the quest design ends up being you just walking to places and pressing E, press E on this container, E on this person, E on this bench, I want the quest to be go here and defeat enemies because that's actually fun. People meme on Skyrim for that, but Starfield is what innovative quest design looks like. The quests are the least fun part of this game. Number 3. Points of interest. Alright, here's the thing. Starfield should have been made after Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6 should be out right now, and Starfield should still be worked on, because the technology just wasn't there yet. There are only around 20 dungeons in Starfield, and there need to be an infinite amount. Not 50, not 500, not 5,000, an infinite amount. They flexed procedural generation, but then they hardly used it. Where are the actual procedural dungeons? That's why I feel this game needed to be made 10 years later, so it could use actual generative AI to produce unique planets, dungeons, cities, storylines, the works. This game could truly never end. It would be the video game. The most basic kind of video game you could have in this universe, exploring said universe. But you can't handcraft a game of this scale. And the procedural stuff they have at the time just wasn't powerful enough yet. Now, if they were developing Starfield today instead of Elder Scrolls 6, we'd likely get AI integrated into the game's core design instead of procedural generation being used, however controversial that may be. Those are the 3 core issues I have with Starfield, and one of them is getting resolved with the Free Lanes update, so 2 issues. Still, I can't ignore how awful the quests, writing, and point of interest are in this game. Man, I'm just dogging on this game. Am I even sure it's good anymore? Starfield made me question what it is to be a video game. I asked myself during those first 50 hours, do I even like video games? I was rushing through the game, going from planet to planet, talking from person to person, engaging with the RPG systems, selling loot, building relationships with companions, building the perfect ship, just walking around Neon, and then suddenly, it clicked. It all clicked. Starfield doesn't want you to rush. It wants you to sit in contemplative silence on a planet without life on it, listening to whatever music you want to, and ask yourself, why do I even play video games? Starfield is the GOAT. It's the best RPG Bethesda has ever made, and it's just marred down by having the worst introduction I have ever seen in any video game. And that's because, this is important, so pay attention to these words, they wrote the ending first. Yeah, I don't want to spoil this game because I want you to play it, but just know this. The end is just the beginning. In each Bethesda game, there's a step out moment. For Skyrim, it's when you leave the cave. For Fallout, it's when you leave the vault. But for Starfield, it doesn't happen until the very end of the main quest. And then you explore different possibilities. Let's leave it at that. Starfield has done things that no game has ever done before. It innovates the medium in ways that every game afterwards will take inspiration from. That is, if people actually play the game and discover its strengths past the first 50 hours. That's what I keep cycling back to. The beginning of the game. I don't think the Free Lanes update is going to be the Starfield 2.0 drop that everyone is expecting it to be, and I don't think they're going to fix the beginning of the game, because I don't think Bethesda sees it as being broken. To them, it being bad is part of the design, part of the message they're saying with this game. It's an anti-game. It starts boring and ends, well, it doesn't end. It keeps getting better the longer you play it. I did a playthrough to record footage for this video, and it's my favorite playthrough yet. And it's like my 19th one. That's just how this game works. It's a cozy game once you understand it, but it does not hold your hand, and it gives you no incentive to learn or engage with its mechanics. On the surface, it seems boring, shallow, and generic. But underneath the surface is a ton of depth and mechanics to play with. Like I mentioned earlier, this game is a lot like life. It doesn't hold your hand or follow traditional gaming conventions. It just is. And that doesn't resonate with a lot of people. A game that asks 50 hours of your time before it gets good, to a lot of people, is just going to be a bad game. And that's okay. They're missing out on one of the most unique experiences I've ever had with digital media. So what are its strengths? Put simply, Starfield is layered with so many mechanics and subgames that you could play it, and only it, for the rest of your life, and never run out of fresh things to do. I literally did this for 6 months straight. The real magic is the cycle that it creates. You dive deep into one system, shipbuilding, outpost management, exploration, combat, faction quests, whatever, eventually get your fill, move on to another, and by the time you circle back to the first one a couple weeks later, it feels exciting again. You're never truly done with any part of the game because it keeps refreshing itself through your own shifting focus. It's an infinite loop. Just look at the logo. It's literally a beautiful, endless circle. It couldn't be more obvious. Starfield asks you to trust it for 50 hours before it wakes up for you. Most people won't, and that's okay. They're missing out, but if you do, you get a game that never ends. A game that keeps surprising you with new events, big and small, even thousands of hours in. A universe that feels like home after you've lived in it long enough. So yeah, Starfield is great actually. And if you hate that, well, I'll be over here, still playing it, still loving it, still dying on this beautiful, procedurally generated hill. Because for me, Starfield didn't just give me a game, it gave me 1,600 hours of life when I needed it most. If you've made it past 100 hours, you know what I mean. If you haven't, maybe give it another shot. Or don't. Your call. Thanks for watching. Shattered Space sucks, do not buy it.